Daniel's voice thundered through the marble halls. "That baby is mine. Don't you dare stand in my house and claim that." Hannah's arms tightened around her newborn, her voice breaking as she whispered, "You know he's yours, Daniel. You know what we shared." The billionaire's jaw clenched, pride strangling the truth in his chest. "Leave, before I make you regret ever stepping into my life again." But when the baby blinked, those storm-gray eyes caught the light, mirroring Daniel's own. For the first time, silence cracked to certainty. Welcome back, family, to Sir Gentle Stories. Before we begin, let me pause to say thank you. Thank you to each of you who continues to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Your support means more than you know. And before we dive deeper, allow me to say a quick prayer for you. May your path shine brighter each day. May joy visit your home. May peace stay close to you. And may opportunities open that no man can close. Whatever burdens you carry, may they be lifted. Whatever dreams you hold, may they be fulfilled in due time. If you believe this, type amen in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and turn on the notifications bell. Now, let's begin today's story. The first snow of November muffled the sprawling driveway of the Caldwell estate, turning the world outside white and quiet. Inside, the mansion gleamed, all marble and glass, designed to intimidate, not to comfort. At the bottom of the sweeping staircase, Hannah Brooks stood trembling, her newborn tucked tight against her chest. The chandelier's crystals caught the baby's tiny breaths, as though even light wanted to bear witness. Daniel Caldwell stood afar in the foyer, his tailored suit crisp, his cufflinks flashing under the chandelier glow. He looked at Hannah as though she were nothing more than a nuisance. "That's not mine," he said again, his tone icy final. "Daniel," Hannah's voice cracked. "Look at him. Look at Noah. You know what we shared." But pride was Daniel's armor, and pride was a heavy chain. "Take your lies and leave my home." The words pierced her chest, yet as she turned and pushed open the heavy doors, snow stinging her face, her arms tightened around her son. "You are mine, Noah," she whispered into the baby's ear. "You are not his denial. You are everything." The night swallowed her, but deep inside, a spark of defiance burned. Months earlier, the estate was alive with summer heat and music. Jazz spilled from open windows. Guests in glittering gowns and tuxedos filled the rooms, laughter clinking with champagne glasses. Hannah moved quietly through the chaos, balancing a silver tray of drinks. Her uniform clung to her skin in the humid air. She reminded herself why she was here: to earn enough to pay rent, to send something back to her younger sister, to keep going. Daniel Caldwell was everywhere at once, laughing with senators, shaking hands with celebrities, his smile a weapon, his presence magnetic. Even surrounded by wealth and power, he stood apart, as though the world bent toward him. Hannah kept her head down. Billionaires like Daniel didn't notice maids. Or so she thought. Later that night, while the music swelled downstairs, Hannah slipped into the private study with her rag and polish. She liked these stolen moments of quiet, just her, the shelves, and the smell of leather-bound books. "You shouldn't hide during my parties." The voice froze her. She turned slowly to see him leaning in the doorway. Daniel, his tuxedo jacket undone, his tie hanging loose, a glass of bourbon in hand. "I wasn't hiding, sir. Just cleaning," she managed. He stepped inside, closing the door behind him. Click. The sound was final, intimate. "Everyone's here for me," he said, his gaze holding hers. "But you're the only one who doesn't look at me like I'm a prize." Her pulse skittered. She focused on the counter, scrubbing harder. "You're my boss. And that makes me untouchable?" A smirk curved his lips. "It makes you dangerous," she whispered before she could stop herself. Silence stretched. She felt him move closer, his presence like heat on her skin. "Dangerous," he echoed softly. "Do you feel afraid of me, Hannah?" Her name on his tongue sent shivers down her spine. She swallowed hard. "I'm not afraid. I just don't belong in your world." He set his glass down on the bar. His hand came to rest on the counter, inches from hers. "Maybe my world is lonelier than it looks." When she finally turned to face him, his eyes burned, hunger mixed with vulnerability. Her breath caught. She should have left. But when his hand lifted to brush a strand of hair from her cheek, the room seemed to vanish. The first kiss was hesitant, testing. When she didn't pull away, it deepened, became fire. His hand slid down her waist, pulling her against him. "You taste like fire," he murmured. Her fingers rose to his chest, feeling the steady beat of his heart. For a moment, she forgot the chandeliers, the wealth, the rules. It was just them, clinging to heat. When his mouth trailed down her neck, Hannah gasped, a sound that only drew him deeper. "Daniel!" His name slipped out like a secret. "Tell me to stop," he whispered. She didn't. Instead, she kissed him harder, pulling him closer until nothing else mattered. That night, the study became a sanctuary and a battlefield. Heat, urgency, whispered names. And when it was over, when the storm inside them calmed, Daniel held her close. "You don't know what you've done to me," he whispered. She thought it was a promise. She didn't realize it was a warning. For weeks, Hannah convinced herself it had been a mistake. But every time Daniel passed in the hallway, every time his eyes lingered too long, the memory burned fresh. And when he summoned her for tasks another maid could have done, she knew it wasn't coincidence. It became a dance. One afternoon, when the staff had been dismissed early, Hannah lingered in the library, dusting. She sensed him before she saw him. "You stay late too often," Daniel said from the doorway. She turned. "I like quiet rooms." "So do I." He crossed the room in long strides, eyes molten. She told herself to leave, but her feet stayed planted. When his hands framed her face and his mouth claimed hers, all resistance crumbled. Her back pressed the shelves, books rattling. His hand slid up her thighs, pulling her skirt higher. "We shouldn't," she gasped. "Then stop me." His whisper was fire at her ear, but she couldn't. Moments later, he turned her, pressed her against the shelves, and filled her with slow, deliberate thrusts that made her cry out. Their bodies moved in rhythm, breaths tangled, names torn from lips. "You feel like heaven," he groaned. "Mine." When it was over, when they collapsed together, he whispered, "Stay." And so it began. Nights stolen, afternoons charged with secret glances, promises whispered in the dark. But secrets have sharp edges. At another party, Hannah carried drinks while Daniel laughed with a woman in a red gown, his hand on her back. Hannah's stomach twisted. Later, he found her. His kiss was harsher, desperate. "I don't want them," he muttered. "You're the only one who feels real." She wanted to believe him. She wanted to believe she mattered. But a whisper began in her heart. Men like Daniel Caldwell say forever only until it's inconvenient. Autumn slipped over the Caldwell estate like a gray veil. The air turned crisp, mornings colder, nights longer. Hannah carried her secret under loose sweaters, each day a battle between hope and fear. When she pressed her palm to her belly, she felt a flutter, a reminder that what they had done in secret had left her forever changed. Daniel, for a time, seemed softer. He pulled her into hidden corners, kissed her like a starving man, whispered promises against her skin. "You'll never have to worry again," he murmured one night, his hand spread protectively over her growing stomach. "I'll take care of you." She wanted to believe him, but reality was never so simple. One evening, as Hannah folded linens in the laundry room, she overheard two maids whispering. "They say Mr. Caldwell is going to announce his engagement." To who? Evelyn Harper. Old money. Political family. The sheet slipped from Hannah's hands. Her pulse pounded. That night, when Daniel came to her room, she confronted him. "Are you marrying someone else?" His expression hardened. "Don't listen to gossip." "Then tell me it's not true." "Tell me because—" Her voice broke. "Because I'm carrying your child, Daniel." Silence. Heavy, suffocating. Daniel's face turned to stone. "What did you say?" "I'm pregnant." His fist clenched, his jaw tight. "No, that's not possible." "It is," she insisted, tears brimming. "I haven't been with anyone else. You know this is yours." His pride rose like a shield. "How convenient. A maid's trap. Do you expect me to throw away my future for mistake?" The words sliced through her. She staggered back, one hand instinctively covering her stomach. "A mistake?" Her voice trembled with fury and grief. You held me. You made me believe I mattered. Daniel's voice cracked, but his pride was merciless. Leave, or get rid of it. The silence that followed was unbearable. By morning, Hannah was gone. Life outside the estate was harsh. Hannah rented a small apartment in Queens, its wallpaper peeling, its windows drafty. She worked double shifts at a diner, carrying plates heavier than her own strength. Gossip followed her everywhere. The maid who had flown too close to the sun. But at night, she pressed her hand to her belly and whispered, "We'll be okay, Noah. We don't need him." When Noah finally arrived, he came with a storm. Rain lashed against the hospital windows. Thunder rolled across the sky. Hannah screamed through the contractions, clutching the nurse's hand. And then a wail split the air. They laid him on her chest, fragile, perfect, alive. His storm-gray eyes blinked open, and Hannah gasped. They were Daniel's eyes. The proof, the truth. Tears streamed down her cheeks. "You're mine, Noah. No one will ever take you from me." Family, let me ask you this. If you were Hannah, abandoned and left to struggle, would you let Daniel back into your life if he ever returned? Or would you shut the door forever? Tell me in the comments below. And don't forget, your likes and shares help these stories reach more people who need them. Weeks later, a neighbor snapped a photo of Hannah leaving the hospital. Noah nestled in her arms. The image spread like wildfire online. Daniel saw it splash across tabloids. His lawyer ranted about damage control, but Daniel's eyes locked on the child. Those eyes, his father's eyes, his own. He poured glass after glass of bourbon that night, but no amount of alcohol drowned the truth. The next morning, against his better judgment, Daniel found himself outside Hannah's crumbling apartment building. When she opened the door, she froze. Her expression hardened like armor. "Why are you here?" "I need to see him," he said, his voice rough. She hesitated, then stepped aside. Inside, the apartment smelled faintly of coffee and baby powder. In a thrift store crib, Noah kicked and cooed. When Daniel approached, the child blinked up at him, storm-gray eyes locking with his own. Daniel's knees nearly gave way. "He's mine," he whispered. "God help me, he's mine." Hannah's arms folded. "Now you see it." Daniel turned to her, shame etching deep lines across his face. "I was a coward. I can't undo that. But I will spend the rest of my life making it right, if you let me." Her voice cracked but stayed firm. "Do you have any idea what you put me through? The whispers. The nights I thought I'd raise him alone." "I know," he said. His voice was raw. "But please, let me try." Hannah didn't forgive him that night. She didn't fall into his arms. But slowly, painfully, he returned. He showed up with groceries, with checks she tore up but secretly appreciated, with sleepless nights rocking Noah when colic racked his little body. Each small act chipped at the wall around her heart. One night, Hannah found him asleep on the couch, Noah tucked against his chest. Daniel's head tilted back, his expression stripped of arrogance. For the first time, she saw not a billionaire, not a tycoon, but a man, vulnerable and tired, trying to be a father. When he woke, their eyes met. "You don't have to stay," she whispered. "I want to," he replied simply. Something in her softened. It was late. The city hummed outside. Noah slept peacefully in his crib. Hannah stood by the window, arms wrapped around herself. Daniel came up behind her, resting his hands gently on her shoulders. "You don't have to do this alone anymore," he said softly. She turned, searching his face. For once, there was no pride, no denial. Only a man stripped bare, waiting. Her breath caught. And then she kissed him. Slow at first, then deeper. Their months of anger and longing dissolved. His shirt fell away. Her dress slipped from her shoulders. "You're beautiful," he whispered reverently. Their bodies found each other. But this time it wasn't reckless passion. It was deliberate, worshipful. Every kiss, every touch was a promise. When he finally entered her, it was slow, deep, every movement binding them together. Hannah clung to him, her cries muffled against his shoulder. "I love you," Daniel confessed, the words torn from him. Her walls crumbled. "I love you too." They shattered together, clinging as though the world would vanish if they let go. Later, tangled in sheets, Daniel pressed a kiss to her temple. I was a fool to deny you, to deny him. Hannah rested her hand on his chest. Don't make me regret letting you back in. You never will, he promised. From the crib, Noah stirred. For the first time, Daniel rose without hesitation, lifting his son into his arms. Hannah watched, her chest swelling with something she hadn't allowed herself to feel in months. Hope. Family. If this story touched your heart, I want you to do 3 things. Like this video so more people can hear stories that inspire. Subscribe if you haven't already, so you never miss another story. And tell me in the comments, what lesson did you take from Hannah and Daniel's journey? Because here's what I learned. Pride can destroy love, but humility can heal it. And sometimes, truth shines brightest through the innocent eyes of a child.